House Chair, firstly, may we also congratulate you, Minister, and give you the assurance from our side that we will play a constructive opposition role and partner with you to find solutions to the many challenges facing our nation. Now, we as a committee are fully aware that the Department, the NPA, Legal Aid South Africa, the SIU, Human Rights Commission, and the Public Protector are suffering severe financial challenges. And this is impacting service delivery in the criminal and civil justice spheres. The constrained fiscal environment has resulted in a $2 billion baseline cut to the department's budget over the medium term, with $667 million in this year alone. Now, the question I posed in the committee is, yes, we call the members, we call the entities to come to the committee to hold them accountable, but how can we expect them to reach targets when they are not being properly funded? And we also need to ask the question, how did we land up in this constrained fiscal environment? And it is undoubtedly because of widespread corruption and state capture. And we know the new Zuma administration allowed itself to be captured in the interests of a family. But the corruption goes far deeper and far wider than that one incident. And this has resulted in billions of rands being siphoned off from the departments, from SOEs. The level of state capture is absolutely staggering. And in addition, as the Nugent Commission found, SAHRC was hollowed out, losing much of its expertise and resulting in tens of billions of rands, of tax rands not being collected. This is disgraceful. So obviously state capture and corruption was naturally part of the focus during the budget vote briefings. And we appreciate the forthright presentation by the NDP, Advocate Shamila Batoy, as well as the briefing by the head of the investigating directorate, Advocate Cronje. What is apparent is it's going to take some time for the institution for criminal action against those implicated in corruption, given the complexities of the case and forensic investigations required. However, we from the ACDP would urge that some action should at least be taken. People out there, the electorate, are waiting for action, and so we would urge as soon as possible for action to be taken. It is disgraceful that the Guptas were allowed to leave the country. In the 5th Parliament, we sat on the Eskom inquiry, and we knew what was going to happen. They were about to flee the country. They were about to take billions of rands, but nothing was done in this regard. We also welcome the exemplary work that is done by the NPA's Asset Forfeiture Unit and the Special Investigating Unit. But Minister, so much more could be done if these units were given additional funding. Clearly, the fact that almost 400 million is owed to the SIU is stymieing their work. This must be addressed at the highest level. And it is a matter of great concern that the Asset Forfeiture Unit, that can collect billions, has a 25% vacancy rate. So how do we resolve this funding issue? Do we stand every year, wring our hands and say, we're so sorry, we're so sorry, we're so sorry, go and do your work, we're so sorry? But we will hold you accountable for the targets. We will call you back. Firstly, let us accept political responsibility for state capture. Let us make sure it never happens again. And secondly, let us make use of the provisions of the Money Bills Amendment Procedure and Related Matters Act. This act was passed in 2009. Committee Chairperson, we, as Parliament, appropriate funds. It is Parliament that can, within the fiscal environment and under certain conditions, recommend adjustments. Let us in this Parliament make use of those provisions. We can go to the Appropriations Committee and say, in this case, let us shift funds from that vote to another vote. Lastly, the ACDP would like to thank all the magistrates, prosecutors, legal aid provisioners, practitioners, court officials, Chapter 9 institutions who do their very best to uphold justice on a daily basis under very challenging financial and difficult conditions. I thank you.